All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we look to close out the week, checking out the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a huge favor, drop me a 1 in the chat, and we can get this morning's session on its way. All right. Good morning, Benit, Michelle. Good morning. Appreciate it. I see the one coming in. All right. So let's get right to it. So let's jump out of here, close out, head over to trading economics. China manufacturing unexpectedly grows, right? So again, the continued ebbs and flows of China. Cakes in China, general manufacturing PMI rose to a 3-month high of 50.7 in November from 49.5 in October, beating forecasts of 49.8. Both output and buying levels returned to growth amid recent efforts from Beijing to revive a sluggish economy. Also, cost pressures remain subdued while confidence hit a 4-month peak, right? So these global economies just keep moving right along. You can see here Switzerland GDP growth tops forecast. European stock rally continues amid rate cut hopes. And let's see, U.S. house prices fall the least in 9 months. So Russian manufacturing growth remains robust. Like this thing just keeps going and going. Italy, though, factory activity shrinks most since June, right? So the ebbs and flows, the back and forth. But like I said, these global economies just keep pushing through, right? Despite all the speculation about recessions looming, right, across the globe, right? So a lot of back and forth on the data. If we click over to the DXY, right? So the dollar index eased to around 103.4 on Friday, giving back some of the gains from the previous session as investors continue to assess the outlook for Federal Reserve monetary policy in light of the latest economic reports. So yesterday we had the PCE. So the U.S. PCE index rose 3% in October rose 3% in October from a year ago, slowing from 3.4% from a 3.4% gain seen in previous months. Personal spending also moderated while continuing jobless claims reached a 2-year high, right? So some tightening, but that inflation number is coming down. U.S. policymakers largely signaled that the tightening cycle is likely over, but left the door open to a further interest rate hike should progress on inflation stall, right? So we're making progress on inflation, okay? The dollar index rose. The dollar index also lost 3% in November. Its worst monthly performance in a year amid bets that the central bank could start cutting rates next year. Investors now look ahead, right? Important to Fed Chair Jerome Powell's remarks on Friday for further guidance, right? So we may see some volatility today as a result. Again, the first Friday of the month. No non-farm this week. It'll be next week, but we do have Jerome Powell speaking today, right? So we want to keep an eye on that. So we saw the PCE number tail off, which is just good to bring that inflation down. And then we're looking at, like they say, the policymakers saying, hey, that the tightening cycle is likely over. But yet we saw the dollar make some gains first part of yesterday. Again, that's month end, repatriation, books closing out, all types of stuff. So again, we always say be cautious with the end of the month. It could be kind of weird. And so despite, again, that PCE number coming through on inflation showing a decline, we saw the dollar make some gains to the upside. And then then you see here, it gave back some of the gains. So still overall, investors are looking fairly bearish on the dollar right now. Being that the tightening cycle is likely over. That's the message that's coming from a lot of U.S. policymakers. But again, we have Jerome Powell speaking today, right? So that's just a little bit of news on the dollar. Let me see what time. Do we have a time on Chairman Powell speaking? Let's see, November 30th, December 1. We got Barr speaking, Lagarde, Powell. 11 a.m., 2 p.m. as well. So we'll see. Today we also have numbers for Canada, employment numbers coming out for Canada as well. Give me 1 second here. Sure, everybody. Good morning. Everybody that just joined us. Get things situated here. All right, I think we are all good. Ryan, good morning, sir.
Benny, good morning, bro.
How's it going?
Going well, man. How about yourself?
Man, doing pretty good. Happy it's Friday, end of a long, crazy week.
Man,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, always good when the weekend is here. So, anything fundamentally that you read overnight or during yesterday's session?
I'm still getting caught up. I had a crazy day yesterday, so I'm still getting
Mhm.
caught up on some things this morning. So, but nothing yet.
Okay, cool. So, like again, fairly light day to day, with the exception of the employment numbers. Oh, we also have ISM manufacturing. So I guess we could get some decent volatility on the Friday. So I take that back, even though we're not having non-form. You still got Canadian job numbers, ISM manufacturing, and Chairman Powell speaking, and investors are looking for some forward guidance as a result of the PCE numbers yesterday. So we could have a decent Friday as far as the volatility goes. Any questions on the fundamentals? No. All right. So looking in at the dollar index again, oops, coming in at looking at the daily chart yesterday, right? We got a bullish move closing out the month. Okay, bullish move closing out the month yesterday, and then here we are. We got some weak action going on here. So we came into the new day with the dollar giving back some of the gains, like we read in the report. But now we've got some upward movement as we start the day. So we'll continue to see how it moves about throughout the day, especially with Jerome Powell speaking later this morning, early afternoon. So that's where we are on the DXY. So we've got a little bit of the corrective action going on, right? We talked about this yesterday. We got 80-20 on the DXY. Right. So technically, right, it made sense. Right. Technically, it made sense. We hit that 80-20 zone, and even on the DXY, we got a reaction. So after a long, bearish November, we've got some corrective action going on here. Okay. But overall, this DXY has moved bearish. Okay. So that's where we are there. So let's jump into the charts, and we are going to start out with this Euro Yen setup, right? So still overall bearish, right? This is still in play. It is a large move, 431 pips to TP1 on the EJ off the 4-hour chart. So we're continuing to make progress there. But this is a long move, and of course the market moves in waves. And our awesome teammate Reese yesterday posted in the Telegram, he said, hey, we've got an 80-20 setting up to the upside, right, on the 1-hour chart. And we went over this yesterday. Reese, appreciate it. Drop Reese some sevens in the chat because we hit that 80-20 on the nose. We hit that zone, and we got a pullback to TP1. So awesome job. Just like that, 114 pip move, right? That's the power of the inner circle. 114 pip move to TP1. Boom. Just like that in 24 hours, or less than 24 hours, right? So that was a beautiful, beautiful move. So yes, drop those sevens because that was a good pickup yesterday. Appreciate it, Reese. That's it. Teamwork makes the dream work, indeed. So that was a nice one there. So you can see how you can play it both ways. We got the overall long-term swing, right? This is a pair that moves pretty good. And just like that, we got that correction, and it was 100 pips. So thank you very much, sir. That is good for the account. Any questions on the Euro JPY?
No, sir.
All right. We are good there. So since we are taking a look, we'll stay with the euros, and then we'll move on throughout the chart. So let's move in. We'll take a look at the euro CAD. Yesterday we posted it. This one took a while, but we got there. Right. We finally got there. We can see overall how this pair is moving. So longer term daily chart, 80-20 from a while ago, that has since made it high and corrected, moving to the downside, and it played right into our setup on the 4-hour chart. So we are closing in on TP2 now on this Euro CAD setup. So moving into TP2, 4-hour stochastic is definitely oversold, and right around that TP2 is a 4-hour level that we're coming into. So this is closing in on 300 pips, everybody, to the downside off the high. Okay, so it's a beautiful move for us. But as it starts to move down towards that TP2, there is a setup on this 1 hour that we want to pay attention to. Okay, we've been moving pretty strong to the downside on our 1 hour. We've got an 80-20 zone that is hit. Here is that 4-hour level running right into that 4-hour TP2. And this is a 4-hour support level. So we haven't formed a swing low in this zone yet. Okay, we're still pushing down. All right, so we want to see if that holds. So draw your trend lines, use your cloud, whatever you do on the time frames, but definitely keep this one on your radar, as we may get it to push down to this 4-hour support level. Be patient with it, because it is, this is the EJ, so it is a decent move right back to TP1 off that 4-hour level. If we reach that, we're looking at, we're looking at a move back to TP1, close to 100 pips, another 4-hour resistance level there at 80 pips. So just keep this one on your radar as a possible move as we close out the week. May not start to happen today, but as we move into next week, that Euro CAD again on the 4-hour, we're closing in on TP2. We're oversold. We're moving towards being eventually oversold on the 1. So things may line up there, but be patient. Any questions on the Euro CAD?
No, sir.
All right. So this one moved, right? We got it. So what was this coming up in the zone? So from the 20th, so you're looking at 10 days or so, a little less than that, getting to TP1, but not bad. Not bad. Beautiful move on the Euro CAD. So that's that. I want to take a look at this Euro GBP. I know, it was great. I was just watching a guy on YouTube yesterday. That's the first thing he said. He's just like, I don't really trade the Euro GBP. He was going through his whole strategy or whatnot. He's like, I don't really trade the Euro GBP. He just kept it moving. But we understand his sentiment in the inner circle about the Euro GBP. But technical setups are the technical setups. So every once in a while, we can make good on the Euro GBP. So we've got a new AB boundary on the 4. We are not in this zone yet. It's starting to show up on a 4-hour and a 1 hour. So what we want to see, of course, is to keep an eye on this going into next week, because we've got an 80-20 zone here, but we also have a daily level. So this could be a good zone for us to look for a reversal. Okay, on the Euro GBP, here we are on the 1. Okay, we've got it settling in on the at the 118 zone. We're already getting a reaction on this, but I would like to see this one to see if we can get it to fall in line. Clear my charts. I need to bring that daily level back down from the 4. Make sure I put that in. So we want to see if we can get it to push down. So here's that daily level. If we get that daily level, it's going to hit a D extension on the 1, right? Which is a major exhaustion point. So we'll see. I would like to see it push down further. So I'm more so watching this one. My take on this, I'm watching this one from the 4. I would like to see it move down a little bit further before I look to take that. But deploy your trend lines, see what we can get from it. So that's the Euro GBP. Any questions on that? No? All
No,
right.
sir.
All right. Easy enough. What else do I have here? Oh, let's take a look at the Euro USD. We were just looking at that one yesterday as it's still in play, but we've made some progress, right? So for the 1 hour chart, Ryan, you were watching this from the 1, right? Not mistaken. We went over it.
Yep.
Yep. So we got to further move down. Right, we got to further move. We got to further move down. I was redrawing this one, so I need to put that level back in. But we got to further swing to the downside. That's right. So just looking for that TP1 to be hit on this 80-20, right? So we went above the zone. We actually broke a back above 109.65, but look, we came back down below it. So we look for further moves down. Again, watch this. These 108 levels, 108.25, 108.52, right? As we could see another bounce there, like we got. But ultimately, from the technical game that we play, we look forward to get to that 382. All right. So, any questions on this Euro USD?
No, sir.
All right. Euro Aussie. I have it written down. Can't remember. I think there was a move that yes, on the 5 minute on this Euro Aussie. This one I missed, Ryan. I didn't get a chance to see it, but we've got a decent reversal happening off of that. I had it marked up, but didn't get to completing it. But we got a decent reaction off that level, just shy of that 80-20 zone. But this should show you guys, right? Again, just to reiterate, hey, on all levels, all time frames, this play occurs. So this one is headed towards TP1. I had it written down because I was thinking maybe we can get a correction, and maybe we can take advantage of. But since I looked at it, this is continuing to move. So scratch that one, as that one is already moving on the Euro Aussie. It is moving down. So this is just a look from the 1 hour. Got to bounce off of a 382 that moved down. Daily level 164. 42 is where we're getting that reaction to the upside. So this one was from the big one that I know I missed it because I didn't play it off the 118 zone, but it ran into a monthly resistance level. This is when we drew up a while ago, but you all can see that it has since collapsed, right? So off that monthly level, it held and it 394 pips to the to the downside. So that was a big one. That came up just shy of that 80-20 zone. So that was the original markup. So didn't reach our target for entry, at least my target. Some of you might have played it manually off that monthly resistance level because that was a key level, but I didn't, and we missed the U-turn. So any questions on the Euro Aussie?
Nope.
All right, the moves are there. The moves are there, everybody. Let's take advantage of them. So let's jump up to, I want to take a look at this Aussie CAD. Look at some of these moves that are still in play as we look to wrap up the week. And this one is important because we do have Canadian employment data coming out this morning, and that is at 8:30. So I'm definitely interested to see if this plays out in our favor. This has been bouncing around, but it is moving in our direction. So we're looking at a 165 pip TP1 on that. So just continue to keep your eye on this Aussie CAD play to the downside. It is slowly but surely making progress. So off that 80-20 zone, since it's moved into the positive, that's down, where are we at? About 40 pips to the downside on that Aussie CAD. So continue to watch that one. That one's still in play. Any questions? No. All right, so let's keep that one on the radar as we've got news at 8:30. And again, right, it's taken a long time, you know, to move, but I guess that's relevant, right? Whether it's long time or not. But this one took a long time too. And we're now at TP2 on this Aussie NZD. Right. So depending on what that ATR is, right, in regards to how much it moves during the day, that varies depending on the currency pair. So some of these can move 185 pips fast, and some it takes a while, like this Aussie NZD, but just proper risk management, continue to use patience. And yeah, that's what that Aussie CAD could end up. That's what that Aussie CAD could end up looking like. Okay. All right, guys. Give me 1 second, everybody. I gotta move. So move my computer location. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. All three of my kids came down the stairs at the same time, so it was about to get loud. So they, they usually trickle down one at a time, but for some reason, all of them came storming down the steps. So sorry about that. So yeah, so that is the Aussie NZD. Just a quick review of that one. I want to take a look at the Aussie Swiss. And this one has started to move. So this one is ranging, right? So this one here, right? We initially got a push up, it came right back down. So this one's moved a little bit since I took a look at it. But this is ranging. So we're gonna tell everybody to keep an eye on this Aussie Swissy. If it moves back down and gives us another opportunity, only I wouldn't take it from here. But if we gotta push down, back down, if it ranges and it moves back down to our 80-20 zone around that 57-65 level, then there's an opportunity there. So just wanted to touch on that one real quick in case anybody has spotted it and has been involved, looking to get into it. But that one's range. I wouldn't take it from that level. If you get that push down to the bottom of the range, then there's a possible opportunity there. All right. Stochastics in the buy zone, right? But it's choppy. Okay. Which is what happens a lot of times with the Swiss crosses. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss? Nope. Yep. So. All right. Just a quick review of that one. Aussie dollar. Quick look in at the 1 hour chart, just tracking the progress. This one is still in play, right? These Aussies are taking a while, but hey, still moving down. This one made a lot of progress and then it pulled back, right? As a result of what was going on yesterday with the US dollar. But you can see that we're moving back below that 66.18. Right? Back below that 66.18 is ranging right now. So it is still in play. Still in play. No need to jump out of that. Let your trade idea play out. So the TP1, we're looking at 105 pips, TP2 144. Any questions on the Aussie dollar? No?
No, sir.
All right. All right. Juan Dosen, what's going on? Man, popped in. All right. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. So that's where we are on the Aussie dollar. CAD Swissy. Let's take a look at this. Where are we at? On the 15-minute chart, there's a setup here. Ryan, I am so upset. I scrapped this one the other morning. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do. I do.
I uh I scrapped this. Everybody, I scrapped. Me and Ryan always communicate back and forth. And I had spotted this original markup, but we were coming right. Was that Monday? Was that Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday. And well, my apologies on this one, but I had marked it up and then I scrapped it right as we were starting the session because it was making a pretty aggressive move towards that D extension. And so I said right in a message like calling this one off, man. I'm not gonna do anything with it because I thought I'm like it's just gonna hit the extension and reset, and that's got to be like a half a pip. And this thing reversed right off that high. So I had the TP2 on this one at 23 pips. It was a smaller move, 15-minute chart, but this thing ended up going, but all the way. What is that? 77 pips on a 15-minute play. This is one of the moves I was in. You lost it. Yeah, I told Ryan a message like, "Hey, we're gonna scratch this one," and then it U-turned. That morning, it moved all the way down. So it just goes to show you, like, when you see it, when you see the setup, like don't second guess yourself. Just let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. I didn't lose. Oh, it didn't transfer. Okay, I got you. Well, here we are again, everybody, in these Forex streets, taking a look at this cash Swissy again, and we are pushing in this 80-20 zone here. All right, so you can see we got an initial reaction as it approached that 80-20 zone, and it recovered and pushed higher. So this is one to put on your radar. 15-minute chart, smaller play. This is one that could play out for us here. Okay, so waiting to see if we can get a higher form at that zone. But if we look at it, we got what is it, 17, about 32 pips to TP1. Okay. So decent possibility, but it is in the zone. And I learned my lesson from the last time. All right. All right. Any questions on the cash Swiss?
On that one, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This retracement could set us up on the 1 hour. Prices pushed out of the 118, 127 zone, but this pullback could give us an opportunity to enter. I have a fib
Oh,
running, a larger fib running. There you
yeah.
go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. So you could play that correction, right? Or wait for that correction, right? If you're not
Yep.
going to play that 80-20 on the 15, just wait for a low price. And what Ryan is saying is this is coming out of 80-20. I missed this one, man. Got that one there, but missed this one. This setup. So we can readjust this now because that old move is done. And right here and here. Right. So what Ryan is saying is that 15-minute play, you can see that pullback, right? That's the 80-20 on that 15, which could lead to this larger move. Great job spotting that, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Yep, hold up.
Yeah, that one's down. We can move this one down now. All right. And I missed that one. This one is moving pretty nice.
And this one's been interesting, man, because we've been looking for this reversal of coming for it to start moving. It keeps pressing down, inching closer on the daily time frame to the D extension, but it still
Mm-hmm.
hasn't hit that D extension on the daily yet. So the longer term play is still intact. So it's going to be interesting to see what the data looks like to see if we finally get a catalyst or if it turns back over. So
Yeah. I feel you there. It look like it's trying to come back up in that range, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. And so that, like you say, that data from this morning might help it. The oil price continues to bounce around. So we'll continue to see.
I heard on the news this morning that they said they don't think that they can they can't control another ceasefire, so they think they might is that the war gonna escalate. Whatever the talks that they was doing with Biden, they trying to get another ceasefire. They don't think they gonna get it.
War is something I'll never understand, Joy.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not. I was just thinking because that could have been a
No,
catalyst. Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just thinking from a broader perspective. I hear what you're saying for sure.
Oh,
Because I was actually thinking about it yesterday. Like, how can you just call a ceasefire and then stop and then start right back up again?
like
Like, it is the crazy. Like, it is like, what in the world? This is like there are lives at stake. Like, people are going to be gone no longer on this earth. Like, what? Like, you stop. And then you show some diplomacy, and then it's like, you know, uh, at this particular time or whenever we're gonna get right back at it. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is war. This is not like halftime of a football game. Like, it's
nah,
just
they let all the women and children go, so I think they just got the men, and that's what they working on now. But they said they not letting them go. I think.
yeah. Marshall says a timeout, commercial break. Like, it's the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest thing, but like I said, I'll never understand it. But I appreciate you bringing that into the forefront because that does have an impact, on what we do. So thank you. So that is the CAD Swiss. Want to check in on this CAD yen just ahead of the data, because we've made decent plays off the lower time frames, but just continue to keep in mind that this is the ultimate long. Here is the 900 pip move to the upside. So you can see we've been trapped. We've been trapped in a range, right? We've been trapped in a range. So we want to see if that can break out and continue to the upside. So like Ryan was saying, like maybe we can get a bit of a catalyst today with the news and then moving forward on this CAD. Because I think they just, if I'm not mistaken, I have to look it back up with we just had, was it Canadian GDP numbers, I think, that came out above expectations. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was yesterday.
Oh, was it yesterday? Yesterday, right?
It was yesterday.
Was it yesterday, the day before? But I thought I saw something on that, because it was a couple articles going out like, hey, what recession or whatnot, based on the data that came. And I thought it was GDP for them. So we'll continue to watch it. But this is the daily, right? 900 pip move. Like I said, it's taking a while, but it took a while for that dollar yen to move 1,380 pips too on a daily, and it hit it right on the nose. So, and again, no change in in Japan's monetary policy, right? Ryan follows that closely. So they haven't made a move there yet. So on all these yen crosses, even though we're finding the smaller plays and we're focusing on 80-20s from a longer term swing perspective against that yen, everything is pretty much long still. Okay, barring any crazy, change in sentiment that creates a safe haven situation for the yen. All right. Any questions on the CAD yen?
Hey, bro.
Yep.
Did you talk about the OPEC meetings this morning?
I did not.
So, couple things there.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia and Russia, they extended their cuts through like mid 2024, and there's going to be an additional 1 million barrel per day cut that OPEC agreed to, the OPEC plus. So that could also, it wasn't necessarily made public, but Reuters leaked the information. So that could also start to play into, as we move into the beginning of the year, some of the shifts in oil too.
Got it. Yeah. So the back and forth with that continues, man.
Yeah.
So we will see on that. I appreciate the update, but I definitely didn't talk about that this morning. So, yep, that's always important to follow. So that's that. All right, on the CAD yen, they talked so much about consumer spending yesterday. I know they did talk. They did talk a lot about it. That's, hey, you got to follow that, Joy, because consumers got to spend as we don't have an economy. For sure, it was a lot of back and forth. So, folks, hey, it's a market full of bulls and bears, and you got, people on one side that's been trying to call the top on this thing for the longest time, and the market just continues to be resilient. But that's the game we play, and those folks, continue to to feel the squeeze as the market continues to be resilient, as global economies continue to be resilient. But they're very smart people. They hedge their bets as well. So I'm pretty sure they'll be okay. But right now, that market continues to move in the opposite direction overall for the bears and some of the fundamental data. So we'll see. It's mixed. You have some fundamental data that speaks definitely, hey, that recession is looming, but then you have some data that's coming out that continues to surprise, and says the exact opposite. So, like we talked about yesterday, Joy, with that 10-year and 2-year bond situation, it just depends on, your economic models as an investor, as a trader, and what you value in regards to economic, data points, and what you have in your bag that you look at and you pay attention to, that gives you the ultimate direction that you think the market is going to go. So fascinating. But hey, from a technical perspective, that's what creates all these waves, and this is where we make our money. So yep. So that is the CAD yen. Want to take a look at the Swissy yen because it's still in play. And let me see. Looking at this from the 4, right? So we know overall it's been super bullish. But in the 4, right, it's been trapped a little bit below this 169.44 level. So this is a monster play. But it's doing what the Swiss yen does, right? Back and forth. It has been, like I say, overall bullish, but we pushed into that 80-20 zone. Let me take this out so we can see it a little bit more clearly, the price action. And you can see we pushed up to retest that trend line, and it's testing that 4-hour level, and it's just been back and forth. We got a stochastic through all of this back and forth. The stochastic has moved back to being overbought, right? So we'll see if ultimately we can get that move back to the downside, okay, on the Swiss yen. So we'll continue. Hey, if you have a position in a smaller position, it's a big move. So just continue, at least the way I play it is just continue to let it float, right? And do its thing. It's not to the point where I'm over leveraged to where it ties my accounts up. It's just another it's just another position that I have running, right? So, but technically it hit our zone. We got a decent reaction off of it, but it's taken back much of that move, right? That was almost 400 pips to the downside, and it's continuing to bounce. So some of us may have gotten stopped out if they had that stop move in profit, which oftentimes you do, right? If you get a huge move down almost 400 pips. But for those looking for an opportunity to possibly make a play, this is where we are, right? It's still hovering around that zone. So let's see. We do not have a 382 yet. And that's the rule. Any questions on the switch yen?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's take a look at gold as we come into a new month. All right, so we can see what's going on from a weekly perspective. All right, we're pushing back up. Right, it's been bullish, no doubt about it. Right, it's just a matter of, as we move through the charts, taking a look at the levels. So we are at a daily level that's 2047. We've been here before. Okay, we've been here before. So watch out, right? Don't want to buy the top. Okay, don't want to buy the top. You can see here this has been a beautiful move. Right? If you've been long on gold, this wouldn't be a bad area, right? To take your profit, right? And no need in being greedy to try to wait for it to push that extension. It's like, hey, even if it continues to push, I guess I'll just leave that on the table. But that's a strong level. We got a reaction there before. And it's been a nice ride. It's been a nice ride off that 61.8, everybody. It's been a nice ride. Even though our 4-hour stochastic is in a buy zone, it's starting to range on us a bit. And as we come down to the 1-hour chart, we'll see, right, that we've got a new AB boundary. So our ABCD wave on the 1 played out. You guys remember the inner outer trend line break? Daily support at 1932, 61.8 on the 1. And boom, right? Money on the way down, 80-20. B to C, C to D. Okay. That is where we are on gold. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, that's been pretty clean. It's been pretty clean. That's been spot on. Okay, that's been spot on. Let's take a look at oil. From that daily, we got some movement, and now we're just ranging. Look at that. Right? We moved up off of a key level, and now we're just back and forth on gold. Right? So we're getting whipsawed a bit. Okay, we're getting whipsawed a bit. So that's what we're looking like, right? Okay, that is ranging. Right. So we need gold to break out in either direction. So that's just a quick look at oil. Let's go and take a look at the let's see what Exxon is doing. I haven't looked at that position in a while. Down. Look at that. It's ranging, right? Right back down in that zone. It keeps wanting to get there. Wow. So that's that there. Let me take a look at the S&P. Starting to move a little sideways. That's natural. Huge move to the upside. And we're approaching a previous major high. Okay. So beautiful move. Beautiful move off this 50% is daily support. right? But now we're just moving sideways a bit. So as we work our way down through the charts, we said, hey, we're in the 80-20 zone. And this is where we talk about, this is a good example of how we talk about price stalling out. This is what we mean. So you're getting a large bullish move, and then for some reason we get up around that 80-20 zone and price starts to stall and move sideways a bit on the S&P. So we can see here on the 1 hour that we've already had a new AB boundary and price corrected 50%. Right? So we didn't quite get to that 45-30 daily level. I wonder if price will seek that out and push deeper. Right? So overall, still bullish. We're looking like we've got decent correction going on right now, though, on the S&P. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, keep in mind, right? We've got Powell speaking today, later on. So that's always important. It can have an impact. That zone that makes price push away from it like that. Reese, man, we're trying to find out. We are trying to find out. I've been studying this thing. They're partnering with Ryan a few years ago now, trying to figure it out. It's an area where it represents that it's overextended. The move to the upside or to the downside that's very impulsive. When you really don't get any type of correction, like we say, less than that 38%, and it moves. Why right in that spot, man? I don't know. You know, it's kind of, I'm starting to head towards when I used to take math, you know, and doing algebra in school. And I used to always just get so deep on things and ask questions like, well, why is this equation like this? Why is this the way to solve it? And my teachers used to say, son, do you want to pass this class? Yes. Then just follow the equation. Like that. It's giving you the right answer. That just follow it. It is what it is. I don't know. I don't want to go back thousands of years to try to figure out, you know, who the person was or why they came up with this equation and why it works and why it balances out both sides. Just do it. So I don't know, but I'm still that guy, you know. Yeah, right, Joy. Like, just do it, right? Do you want to graduate high school? You need to do it. Yeah, because that's how I understand. You know, I gotta break it all. Like I gotta take the computer down and break it down to its smallest component to figure out like why does this work? You know, that's just the way my brain works. But that's the same question that I have, Reese and Ryan and I trying to figure that out. But man, it plays out. It plays out. So I still have that brain. My brain still functions like that where I need to know the why. And eventually, yeah, I pray that one day I find that answer, you know. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna keep playing it. It just seems to I don't know. It just seems to the fibs, period. The way I was taught to use the fibs and where to mark the low and the high and how to hold the trade in the position, even with the ABCD move. It seems if for some reason it just falls in line with the rhythm of the market most of the time. You know, it's amazing. And the fact that it's across all asset classes just boggles my mind. You know, so just that human, even with, you know, where they say when you read articles and they say a large percentage of the trades taken, you know, by the, you know, big time folks are done through algorithms. Still, right? So we may not have, you know, that we have that image of trading places in our mind where they're all in the pits and they're fighting and yelling and screaming and things like that and pushing and shoving. You know, now it's a lot of algorithms running it, but still, right? The fib sequence continues to play out. The Fibonacci sequence. It is a mystery. But hey, that's a great question. Great question. We could talk about it for hours, you know, which oftentimes me and Ryan, that's exactly what we do. So until our wives give us the side eye. But That's how it goes. uh so US 30, indeed, right? Happy wife, happy life. US 30 continuing to push bullish. Look at that. It moves in waves. So that's just been running, you know. The one thing I will say about the cloud, that I guess you can kind of run a subfit, but the one thing about the clouds, oftentimes it depends on, the philosophies. A lot of times they'll say, wait for a cloud break and a pullback. But man, oftentimes I see when it breaks this cloud, you don't necessarily, I don't know if it's just me, but you don't necessarily get that pullback immediately. Like it just runs. So I don't know that part, when it comes to the cloud, I'm like, oftentimes it just takes off, once it explodes to that cloud. And like if I was waiting on a pullback, this is a daily chart, of course, but if I was waiting on a pullback on this, like you didn't get it. It just continues to move through the cloud. So, but we're definitely overbought. We're flat. So we'll see how that continues to play out. So let's move on. Let's take a look at it on the 4. It's just running, right? So we were looking at the possibility of an 80-20 here. No cigar, no trend line break, nothing. Straight through the D extension. Oh, no. And that's how it goes. It's just running clean up through that trend line. It's made a higher high. But we got to set up on this 1 hour, though. That's the stochastics in the buy zone, though. So we need to maybe this ranges, right? How we talk about how it stalls out and it ranges. Maybe it stalls out until we get that stochastic to move back into that into the sell zone. Not sure. But this is in the spot there. And it's been running for a while. So we blew through it on the 4. We're setting up on the 1. So it may be time to see some relief as we move into a fresh month of December. So put that one on your radar for the US 30. Sitting right in that zone. But even just going back to Reese's question, even look how much this accelerated. Look how strong that move was. And then all of a sudden, look how small your candles get, and it starts to push sideways. It continues to amaze me. You can have it just an extremely bullish move or a bearish move in the other direction, and it hits that zone, and it has the ability to just stall. Right? Didn't get it here. Right? Just an impulsive move. Right? It did. I guess it did. It stalled. Right? So I guess I'm correct in saying that. It pushed bullish, and then look how it stalled. The breakout, right, went to the upside on that. Right. So if you're a breakout type of trader and you like trading consolidation and breakouts, you got it there. That one just took off, right? That has to be part of your trade plan. But it hold up, just like we always say. Look how it pushed, and then it just moved sideways. But the Bulls just won that battle. We didn't get the trend line break on the 4, but we got another opportunity on the 1. Thought it was the session change to the over. Yeah, when you talking about coming out of that Asian, well, here it could have been with that Asian session, but these are 4-hour candles, so that extended, for a long period of time. That was through a couple periods, but you do get a lull, right, during that Asian session where the volatility is low, where you do get that consolidation and you get breakouts. So, yeah, so that is the US 30. I want to check in on Ryan. Oh, I know how to meant to tell this. You told us about this one a long time ago. Was that you or was that who was that?
This one was, I think this was Carolyn talking
That was
about
Carolyn. That was
PLTR.
Carolyn, right? Getting long on that
Mm-hmm.
PLTR. That was Carolyn, right? Oh
That might
yeah,
took off,
Carol.
then.
Yeah, man. We got all that and then some. Shout out to Carolyn on that move. I wonder if she held that. Right. But that is moving. Right. And I can't even remember what was this company? I can't even remember how she spotted, but she was looking at this from the breakout point.
Yep. I don't remember what they do.
Yeah, I can't either. But that's that Minervini type move right there, right? Right. I know he traced the cup handle, but he carries this. Look at this, right? That's a classic move on I guess that is your cup and handle though right there. Right? That is a classic move there, man.
That's a teacup.
Right, right. They reinvented it, didn't they? we're gonna call this cup and handle a teacup and put some marketing behind it and run with it. Nothing new under the sun, Joy. Nothing new under the sun. Old things made new. Right? Same cookie, they just changed the color of the package. So that's been it's taking its time, but that has been a beautiful, beautiful play. So shout out again. So that's that PLTR. That was one. Oh, I know what I wanted to look at was the German 30. To check in on that one, we'll close out on this one because I knew it was running similar, right, to your S&P. Look at that. My goodness. Still pushing long. Another 80-20 just blew through, right? German 30, US 30. It's crazy how they act similar, right? That's why we look at all the pairs, because you can see the patterns. You can track the patterns. Doing the same thing, did the same thing on the 4, right? On that one, though, that one's different in that sense that we didn't stall out. That one's just pushing, right? But we haven't hit that D extension yet. All right, everybody. Any questions over anything that we covered today? No? We're good. Ryan, what you got before we close out, sir?
Phenomenal week, good people. All right, continue to be patient, continue to be diligent in developing the discipline of following the rules consistently. And we'll see you in the morning.
All right. Well, with that being said, happy Friday to everybody. Enjoy your day.